So before the video gets started, as just sort of like a heads up, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install the JP version of the game if you want to at the end of the video, and I'll leave a timestamp and everything like that for that, so you can just skip to that if you really want to just go straight for that. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another 7 Deadly Sins video. So today we're going to be going over somewhat of an interesting topic on whether or not you should stay on global or if you should switch to JP for 7 Deadly Sins. And the reason why I'm even making the video is because there has been a lot of controversy with a lot of the ways that global is handling like their updates, and just like they've had a lot of problems, and like people are like upset with some of the ways that they're just doing stuff in general. And I mean, just the lack of like responses from the actual dev team and everything like that. So it's understandable that people are getting kind of upset with it. And obviously right now is a really interesting time on JP because they're doing the 1-year anniversary event, and there's a whole lot of really good like stuff going on. There's a really nice banner going on where you can get a whole bunch of good stuff out of it. There's free login stuff where there's, you know, a free Matrona banner where you get tickets and everything, kind of like the Merlin banners going on right now on global. There's just all kinds of really like neat stuff. Obviously, some of the most compelling arguments for whether or not you should swap over are like, you know, JP has so much more content already in the game, and obviously that's just kind of the nature of it because it's, you know, 6 or 7 months or something like that ahead. Maybe it's even further than that. It might even be further because I think Global's only been out for like 3 or 4 months at this point. I'm not sure exactly when it launched, but JP's quite a bit ahead. But honestly, Global is catching up very fast. Like, they're releasing content at a much quicker rate. Eventually they're going to have to start slowing down, or else they're going to catch up completely to JP, and I don't know if they're wanting to do that because I don't know exactly how the development process works there, if they have to like send over what they have on JP to the global team and they have to translate everything, etc., etc. But I don't know how actually like close to JP they could get without it being a problem. So obviously, yeah, that's number one. Global, they're just not as caught up, but it's obviously a much newer game. JP has tons and tons of new characters and like extra stuff that's already in the game and everything. I actually just got done filming a video where I summoned on the new anniversary banner, and we got some interesting characters and stuff like that. So look out for that in the near future. But anyways, yeah, so there's a lot of characters already in the game. There's a lot of new stuff. Like, they have a lot of extra features and things like that we don't have on global. But I mean, the biggest downside obviously is that I can't understand anything that's happening in the game. Like, if I go on a quest and it pops up an error message and like it doesn't give me any sort of like indicator option, like sometimes you'll get like buttons or whatever. Obviously this just means like go to the quest, which this quest is specifically to UR. Either I think it's UR or SSR. I think it's SSR. Yeah, SSR on make that go through an SSR unit instead of an SR unit. So you have to evolve him. But there's certain, text boxes that pop up, and obviously it's easier on some boxes than others because it's like, oh, hey, like, it'll be kind of color-coded, like no is obviously like a red, box, whereas, the yes or like agree would be the green box. So it's kind of easy to tell in some situations like that on what you should be pushing. But it's really hard, like, I've played global enough to where a lot of the menus and stuff like that are sort of muscle memory, and I know where to go in certain menus. Like, I can go here, I know where to go to the item storage, I know what all of these tabs do, I know that I can go to the settings, and like obviously some of this stuff is somewhat English, like these like the options are on and off here and everything, and you can tell that this is background music and this is sound effects and voice, and there's certain things that are easy to pick up on, and if it's already in global and I've messed with it enough to understand then more than likely I don't have an issue getting to a lot of that stuff. Whereas, there's just certain things that like are newer to this game specifically, like they have newer features, or if there's an event going on or whatever that obviously we don't have on global because we're not anywhere near that point in the game yet. I have no idea what I'm looking at, and I literally have the Google Translate app downloaded on my phone, and because I play on BlueStacks, I hold my phone up to the monitor and I use the camera from Google Translate to translate on the app, or like on BlueStacks, which sounds so stupid. And obviously there's certain ways that you can do it other than that. There was some guy that was saying that you could download an app for BlueStacks, or even on your phone, that would like, you could kind of like, click and drag and select text on the screen, and it would just kind of overlay it and everything, and it would translate it for you right there over the top of the game. I couldn't seem to get any of that to work on BlueStacks, so I just kind of gave up on that and just started using Google Translate anyway. But yeah, obviously that is the biggest flaw. That's the biggest downside. It's not worth it enough for me to like deal with that sort of like big issue for me to actually like consider trying to main this as like my go-to 7 Deadly Sins game over global. But I don't know. Obviously some of you guys may be more tolerant to that than others, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm not going to be maining JP. But other things that are really nice is that the global devs don't really seem to like. It's not that they're not giving out sort of like attention towards certain things or like whatever, but they just don't really respond nearly as much as you would hope so. But like there's been different talks about how they're kind of under like a heavy workload because obviously the game is a lot newer. They're working on trying to get things in a position to where everybody's happy. Obviously there's this whole global pandemic and everything going on, so they're under a lot of stress from that. I'm sure they're working like they're not under normal working conditions and everything like that, but apparently JP is just a lot more forgiving with certain stuff. Like if something goes wrong on JP, they're a lot quicker to just like give out compensation and just give out all kinds of different stuff like that, just for the heck of it, to make the player base happy. Like I logged in today and there's so many like notices right now where I got free stuff, which a lot of this, don't think that this is just because like, oh whatever, like a lot of this is like anniversary stuff, like, oh hey, we're giving you free stuff for the anniversary like all the time. Like a lot of this is anniversary stuff, but like I'm just saying as an example, they do compensate the players a lot more for just like small errors and stuff here and there, whereas global sometimes we're lucky to get a response out of them, but I don't know. Another thing would be that like obviously you're gonna have to wait a certain amount of time before global is even gonna get the content that JP is going through right now, whereas if you're playing JP, any content that comes to the game is brand new to the player base. No one's messed with it yet. Obviously like the metas are new and everything when new characters come out. Like you've got that going for you, whereas like the one thing that I do kind of dislike that about global is that anytime a new character comes out, if a lot of these YouTubers and stuff like that who play JP get to it quick enough, like the whole player base already knows about the character. Like it's not new to global. It's like Valenti just came out on global. Everybody knows what Valenti does. Everybody knows what kind of meta or like what kind of characters you should be using with Valenti for different kinds of comps and stuff like that. And it's just because she's been out on JP for months now. Like she's not new. She's new to global, but as a whole, people have already been making content with her and made content on her when she came out on JP, so there's enough information already out there to where it's really like not a learning experience for anybody. It's just like, hey, we know what she does, we've seen what JP did, we can take that and build new stuff on top of it. Obviously like there's different characters out on global right now than were on JP. Like they're just releasing them in kind of in a different order, which is kind of bizarre. but that's just kind of the way they're doing things and everything like that. So, I mean, obviously there's a little bit of difference there. You can make new team comps. You can make different team comps. Like, you can try to break the meta and make new stuff that, like, people aren't using. But as a whole, like, a lot of the content has already kind of been seen and, like, went through. And it's really easy for people who played JP to just be like, hey, you know, you guys are doing this wrong. You can, like, we already found the easier way to do that, or, you know, this and such. So, I mean, obviously, if you want to switch to JP, it wouldn't be the biggest, like, deal in the world. Like, this is a really good time to do it with the whole 1 year anniversary thing going on, because you get tons of free rewards and stuff like that. Like, I've gotten so many materials and stuff like that just from, like, playing the game over the past 3 days. So, it's really up to you, though. I'm personally not going to be maining JP. I just don't have enough interest in it to really, like, try to do it. I think it would be a big hassle for me, because I already don't read enough in the global version of the game, and with the fact that I can't read anything at all in this game, would just make it that much harder on me specifically. So even though global has its problems, I'm really hoping that they can kind of stick it out and kind of make things right, and kind of help fix, you know, the issues that the player base already has going. So yeah. Anyways, I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut over to the end, or well, since this is the end, we're going to cut over. I'm going to open up a different instance of BlueStacks really quick, and I'll show you guys how to install this just in case you actually want to. So, yeah, let me mute this one really quick, and we'll do screen cap. And then I'll show you guys how to do this. So you're going to go to this website right here. I'll leave a link in the description for this. This is Q app. And from what I understand, this is basically just an app where you can download APK files and stuff like that for Android. I'm not positive if this is going to work for iOS or not. I have no idea, honestly, but because I play it on BlueStacks, this is the way that I've done it. I have actually downloaded JP on my phone, and the process is basically the same, but obviously with certain things, like, it's going to ask you a couple of different questions. So you're going to download via Q app. For some reason, mine never actually starts, so I just have to click here, and it actually downloads the APK file. Obviously, mine has a 1 next to it because I've already downloaded this. Okay, so once you're on BlueStacks and everything, and you already have it downloaded, you're going to click the top left little 3 dots, and then you're going to go to Install APK. You're going to install what you just downloaded, which is the Q app or whatever, from your downloads folder. And then once you have this, you're actually it's going to open up the app and everything, and you're going to have to tell it that you want to sign in as a guest, because you probably aren't going to open this up once you're done installing 7 Deadly Sins. So you go to 7 Deadly Sins Japanese. Obviously, it's on Hot Recent Games right now or whatever. You can just go to the Games tab, or you can even search for it, and just, you know, 7 Deadly Sins Japanese. There's also a Korean version if that's what you're into. But then you go to download here at the bottom, allow it to access your file storage and everything like that, so it can actually download it. And then, yeah. Then once you're here, it's going to say, do you want to install this application that does not require any special access? You click install. I think when I did this on my phone, if you're wanting to try it on the phone, you have to get it to, or you have to allow your phone to access or to be able to install APK files from different sort of apps and stuff like that. But that's literally it. I tried to do this in a multi-instance window just a minute ago, and it wasn't working. But yeah, you can see it's that easy. Like, it's very simple. So you literally just download Q app, and then once you download Q app, you download 7 Deadly Sins from there, and then you can literally just close out Q app, and you can even uninstall it because you don't even need it anymore. Or if you wanted to get other games from there, I guess you could. But yeah, it's installed, it's ready to go, and yeah, you can hear that sweet jingle. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was, you know, helpful or informative. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on, you know, everything, because a lot of people are really mad at global. over different sorts of situations, and I understand why. Like, sometimes it is really frustrating and stuff like that, but I'm not actually downloading this. I uninstalled the app so I could show you guys this, but so I guess all of my pulls from the video or whatever that I just did a minute ago are gone. But anyways, yeah, switching back to global, not playing JP. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.